The Frequency Awakening Rewards Plan Overview. The Frequency Awakening Disclaimer. Rewards under this plan are based on individual effort, team activity, and product sales. Results are not typical and are not guaranteed. Earnings and rewards will vary from person to person. Please refer to your company's official income disclaimer statement for typical participant results. Our success formula. The right timing. Can't get better than that. Trending industry. Health is as trending as it gets. Supportive ecosystem. Well, that's the leadership, Oly Nation, and all the other teams in Oly Nation working hand in hand to create one of the most powerful industries we have seen in the last 25 years. Equals what? Accelerated success. Frontier. There's 100 billion USD projected just this decade alone. There's already been 500 millionaires and counting, and that's in Asia alone. There's not yet one millionaire outside of this call. Over 80 million USD in monthly revenue. For a 4-year-old company, that's pretty much. Frequency healing is becoming a global wellness standard. Now, I want you to look at this graph on the left side. Startup for the last 3-4 years, they started also growing in Asia. Well, where we are right now is that little red star on the second, on the growth, number 2. We're right at the beginning of a major explosion. Why? Because for us, all of us on this call, or mostly, we're talking about the Western market, USA, Canada, Europe, South America, Australia, New Zealand, and the rest of the world, right? So we're at the beginning of this growth. And 3 years of massive success throughout Asia undiscovered the rest of the world where we are right now. Ready to take this to the next level? Well, seize the right moment. From startup, growth, explosive phase, business opportunity, global business model, entry, $1,000, 750 PVs, family, ready, easy to share, going global, active forever, no D ranking, high retention and satisfaction through product quality and results. Affiliate program. There's an 80-20 split on commissions. 80% goes into your bonus wallet and 20% goes into your repurchase wallet. Rewards plan overview. 6 ways that we get paid. Team bonus, performance, tier, group sales bonus, coaching bonus, and global pool bonus. Now, here there's an example of starting at $1,000. For some people that are asking me, what happens if somebody doesn't have 1,000? Can they start at 500? The answer is yes. We don't write it here because we just base it on a $1,000 purchase, but I'll explain to you very quickly in the comp plan why 500. We don't promote it, but technically, yes, you're allowed, okay? So here there's an example of starting at $1,000, which is a P90, or you can start with 2 smaller devices like the Galaxy or the A9. Now, some people are coming in with 2,000. Example, well, the P90 Plus the Galaxy G1 glasses. Now, that's relevant a little bit because as you'll see in the rewards plan, when you're at 500 or you're at 1,000, you're at 2,000 or 6,000, it changes a little bit the dynamics of the comp plan. Let's start with the first one, which is a 5% team bonus derived from commissions of binary tree. What does that mean? It means that you can earn 3 times your initial startup, even if you never do nothing. Now, it's not something that we should openly promote as a given deal because it really depends on who's on your binary tree, not your personally sponsored, your binary tree. Because when you join this company, you're either placed on the left or on the right, at the end of the left or at the end of the right. So depending on who's on top of you on that tree, whatever they're making in profit in commissions, you can earn 5% of them. So if you start with 1,000, you can earn 3,000. You start with 2,000, you can earn 6,000, 3 times your money. Now, this is on your initial startup only. Even if you decide to spend extra money after, that does not count. Now, how does that pan out? Well, let's look at example, you, right there on the right side in the middle. The person on top of you on the tree made $10,000 in profit. You would make 5% of that 10,000, so that's 500. The people under you, A and B, would make 5% of that 500, which is 25. The people under A and B would make 5% of the 25, which is $1.25. Now, this continues till you 3x your money, whether it takes 6 days, 6 months, or 6 years. The only thing is, like, depending on how you're placed and who's on top of you, Well, some people like get it quicker than others, all right? So it's not something that I like to emphasize and that I think that we should all promote in a way that you promise people 3x their money back. Please don't do that. All right, let's start off with the first phase here, the performance bonus, which is receive 10% of 750 points. Why? Because every $1,000 is worth 750 points. So 10% of 750 points is $75. That means that if you personally sponsor someone at $1,000, like A, you make 75. If you personally sponsor somebody like on the right side, B, you would make 150 for 2,000. So it goes with the PVs, right? Not with the 1,000. And remember that every time these two individuals buy something else, you're paid again on this performance bonus. So everyone you sponsor, whenever they buy something, you earn a performance bonus on everything they buy. Now, this is where things get exciting. It's called the tier bonus, which basically means you make 50% of your weaker PV for your first sign up on the left. Why first sign up on the left? Because there's something special with this binary. Everyone needs to sign their first individual on the left. You cannot open up your right side until you sign somebody on the left. So look at the example. You see you on the left side. The first person you signed up was C. Yeah, but there's A before that, but A was a spillover. So even if you have one spillover, two spillover, three spillover on one leg, you still need to sign your first person up on your left side. So you have to go to the left at the end of the line and put one there, sponsored by you. Once you open up your left side, now you're allowed to open up your right side, which is B. And as you can see, everybody's going to the left. Because since everyone is obligated to go to their left side, well, when you're building your left side, you're going to the left of the left. And when you open up your right side, look at what happens on the right. They're all going to the left of the right. So it means that when you sponsor somebody, depending on which side you need to place them on, either you go to the left of the left or the left of the right at the very end. And it's just like this diagram, very simple. So the tier bonus is pretty simple. You have on your left side A, you have on your right side B. As soon as you qualify for this, that you have somebody on your left side, you're going to be paid for A and B on your top. Now, how are you paid? Well, it's 50% of your weaker PV. So if they're both at $1,000, well, your weaker one is 1,000. What is 50% of 1,000? Well, remember that the PV is 750. So 50% of 750 is 375. Now, afterwards, as you can see, I put somebody on my second level, C. And on my right side, I had D because B brought in D. Well, every time there's one on your left, one on your right, you make 375. Let's go to our third level. Now, on our third level, remember that everyone needs to sign their first person up on the left. So C signed up E1 on his left. Forget E2 for right now. On the other side, D signed up F1 on his left side. Now what happens? Well, I have E1 and F1 on my right. I made 375 because every time I have one on my left side, one on my right side, I get paid 375 if they're all at $1,000. On my fourth level, I have G and I have H. As you can see, G, E2 brought him in, and H is F1. Did I bring those people in? The answer is no. Do I still get paid? The answer is yes. Every time you have one on your left and one on your right, you get paid 375. Now, the beautiful thing about this, when I was looking at this, I kind of got excited a little bit because, like, if you get one side and the other side rolling, you're going to be paid to when? Unlimited levels. It's global. There's no timeline and there's no cap. That means if it goes down 100 levels, you've just earned $37,000. If it goes down 1,000 levels, you've earned $375,000 just on this tier bonus alone. Now, what happens? Let's go back to level 3 now. On level 3, you can see that I told you that C brought in E1, and on the other side, D brought in F1. So we got our tier bonus. What happens when C brings in his right side, E2? Well, who gets the money for E2? Well, it's C that's going to make the tier bonus because now C has one on his left and one on his right. So now the 375 is going to go to C because I already got my 375 on E1. For E2, it's going to be C. Just like on the other side, on the right side, D brought in F1. We got paid on that already. Now, when he brings in his right side, F2, he's going to make 375. So where do we get paid on the E2 and the F2? That's going to come in on the binary on the other side. One last thing on this one. We're talking about $1,000 each. But the tier bonus actually pays every time the same person buys something else. Every time they match up. So example, let's say A on the left side came in with 1,000 and B on the right side came in with 2,000. Of course, the computer is going to pay you on the lesser of the two. Remember, 50% of the weaker PV. So he'll pay you on 1,000. But now the computer is going to remember that B is at 2,000 and A is at 1,000. If at any time A decides to spend another $1,000 for another product, well, as soon as he gets to 2,000, he's matching the other side at 2,000. The computer will give you the other 375. So every time your left side and your right side equal out the amount, you get paid over and over and over again. The only thing, you get paid on the people that are in your tier bonus. How do you know that? It's the first person who touches your left is going to be your tier position per life. The first person who touches your right side is going to be your tier position per life. Now, all the other people, where do you get paid on them? The binary. Now, the binary, let's go to the diagram on the right side. You can see the orange circles, one left and one right, one left and one right, all the way down. Now, the diagram is based on $1,000 purchase, all right, just for the exercise. So $1,000 is 750 points. The binary earnings can begin at level 4. So here on level 4, that's where the binary kicks in. First 3 levels, you're not paid. All right, so let's start by looking at the orange circles. Remember the tier position that we just talked about earlier, one on each side? That was my tier position. Tier, 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 one on each side. Now, what I was also telling you on the earlier slide for the tier, it doesn't matter where they touch your left side or where they touch your right side. Because look at here, the tier position is here, it's here, it could be here, it could be here, it could be anywhere on your left or your right. The first person who touches the next row becomes the tier position for life. And it's the same thing on your left side and on your right side. So every time those two people spend the same amount of money, you're paid again and again for the tier bonus. What happens to all the other people, those green people? So starting on level 4, that's because you don't really lose a lot of money on your first 3 levels. As you can see, you're actually losing just 4 people because you're paid on the weaker side of both. So you're just losing 4 people of binary, by the way. So let's just go to the 4th level. Let's say I had $20,000 of volume on my right side and $10,000 of volume on my left side. The computer is going to pay us on the weaker side, which is $10,000. How is it going to pay us at $10,000? Well, that depends on the amount of money that you have in your startup. If you start with $1,000, like on the left side, you can see that you're getting 11%. So what is 11%? Well, if it's $10,000 that you're paid on, 10,000 at 11% is $82 per thousand, which is $820 approximately. Now, at $1,000 purchase, you're capping out at $1,000 in your binary. So if you start making more than $1,000, you're going to lose that money. You're going to want to go to 2,000. At 2,000, you get a cap of 2,000, and now you're at 12%. It increases by 1%. Now, if you're somebody like some people that we know in Holy Nation, you're making more than 2,000 a day. Well, you want to go to 6,000 because at 6,000, you can increase your daily cap to 7,000. And it goes to 13%. Now let's go back to the $500. All right, the $500, the biggest difference is here. So if I look at the tier bonus, remember one on each side, it's paid unlimited levels at 1,000. That if you come in with 500, you're only getting 10 levels down, not unlimited. What does that mean? Well, it means that if you want to open up your unlimited levels, you're going to have to spend another 500 because it's cumulative and you can open it up. And remember also, when somebody joins you under you at 500 and you're at 1,000, you won't get 375. You'll get paid on 500, which is half of 375. Okay. Now, what happens if you're at 500 and you're signing people up at 1,000? It doesn't change nothing for you. It's just that you only get paid 10 levels. Now, that's for the tier bonus. For the binary, if you're at 500, instead of 1,000, you're at 10%, but you have a cap of 500, okay? So you're paid on your weaker side of both. So let's go back to this example of 20,000 on my right side and 10,000 on my left side. We said you're paid on your weaker side, so that's 10,000. Now, what the computer is going to do, it's going to deduct 10,000 on each side. It'll take 10,000 off of your left, so it goes to zero. And the other 10,000 on your right, you'll still have 10,000 there. So you don't lose any money. It just gets brought to the next day. Next is the coaching bonus. Now, everything we've looked at so far is based on the binary. When we're talking about the coaching bonus, this is based on your personal enrollment tree, like a uni level. So what does that mean? It means, let's say I signed up Anna. Anna's on my first generation. Luigi, if Anna's on my first generation because I signed her up, I would be making 10% of her binary. 10% of what? Of what I just showed you right here. This here, the binary, I'm going to be making 10% of Anna's binary every day. If Anna signed up Susan, well, Susan, even if Susan is 20 levels down or 50 levels down, it doesn't matter. Susan's going to be on my second generation. So I'll make 5% of Susan. If Susan signs up Tom, I'll be making 5% of Tom. Now, if you're at $1,000, you open up 3 levels of generations. If you're at $500, you only open up 1 level. So that's why we don't talk about the 500 too much. But technically, I mean, somebody that has to start at 5, you're allowed. It's just that I think that it's just normal at 1,000 to come in at least. And what you want to do also, you see the 2,000 here? Why is it important to get to 2,000 quickly? Well, especially when you start building, is because look at what happens at 2,000. You open up level 4 and 5 generations. So now you're paid on level 4 and 5, another 5% from their binary. Remember that everything that we purchase in OlyLife is cumulative. So if you're at $1,000 and you spend another 1,000, you'll be at 2,000. Now, when you're at 2,000, well, if you ever do spend 6,000, meaning that you buy another 4,000, you'll open up your 6th generation. But it's not too much for that. It's mostly for the binary also before that, where you start capping out at 2,000. You still want to go to 6,000. So that is the matching bonus. All right, everyone, which is based on your uni level, your direct sponsorship. Last and not least, we have the global bonus pool. The global bonus pool is 5% of the company annual profits shared with qualified members. So the company, whatever they're making in profit, at the end of the year, they take 5% of that income and they put it in a pool. In that pool, we as distributors or members, we can actually earn shares. How do we earn shares? Well, for all of you online right now who are M1s, congratulations, because you have 1 share. What does M1 mean? It just means that you sold for $14,000 on each leg. Now here, we're not counting 750 PV. I'm just giving you a general number because in reality, if you calculate 750 PV, it's 10,000. But we just put the numbers of the sales for this one here. So $14,000 on your left, $14,000 total on your right. You're M1 and you have 1 share. Yes, the spillover counts here. Yes, the volume coming from your uplines count for this. To get to M2, you need 134,000 on each side. Now you're getting 2 shares. To get to M3, 667,000, you're getting 4 shares. To be M4, you need 1.3 million on each leg. You're at 10 shares. To get to M5, well, you need 6.6 million on each side. You're at 20 shares. And as you can see, it goes all the way down to 7. The beautiful thing about these shares, everyone, is in OlyLife, we don't lose them. Every year, if you're M1, you remain M1 next year. There's one requirement. I'm just going to confirm all the extra details. I think you need to sign up 1 person to maintain your M1 next year. In the whole year, 1 person, well, not that much. Like M2, I'm not sure. I think it's 2. So we'll just get you the exact number, but it's like it's a small requirement to keep your ranks. So that is for the global pool. Everything I've shared so far is paid every day, calculated every day, and paid every day. The global pool here is paid once a year. It stops in November and it's paid sometime in January. Timing matters, everyone. I hope you realize it, what's happening right now in Oly Nation and in OlyLife and with all your teams. Timing really matters. Why? Because your friend talks to you and you're not too sure. You have to think about it. So we'll put you in the thinking corner. And while you're thinking about it, Andrew, he says yes right away. Then you finally wake up a week after and you come back after Andrew. Well, now guess what? Andrew starts building and you're not going to benefit from that. Instead, if you would have said yes right away, you would have benefited from all the spillover from Andrew. Success loves speed. Fast track to 1 million. A lot of people have a hard time getting more than 2 people. So let's keep it simple here. I've seen many times in opportunities where they promise us, well, like get 3 people and your auto ship is paid. Get 4, who get 4, get 5, who get 5. Hey, let's be honest here. Getting 2 people is already hard for a lot of people. So let's keep it at 2. So if I was to show you an example right now where everyone would just get 2 people each, and let's see what kind of numbers that would give us. Now, I have an example of growth potential here. 2,000 action plan. Join with 2,000 and find 2 people that can also join with 2,000. Wow. Okay, let me explain something here. First of all, if I look at the organization for the last year, I have most people that came in with 15 or 2,000. Yes, I have some people that came in with 1,000, of course. But I'd say that a lot of those people that came in with 1,000, they ended up spending another 500 or 1,000 or even more. And some people came in with 3,000. Some even came in with 4, 5, and 6,000. So how about if we just keep an average of $2,000 each? So if I was to tell you right now on this call, everyone, now remember the disclaimer, right? It depends on your efforts. But if I was to tell you, if everyone would just, and all you needed to do was find 2 people at 2,000. Do you think you could find 2 people that want to make 935,000 also by finding just 2 people to earn close to $1 million? Put a 1 in the chat. Let me see how many people think that if you knew you can make that kind of money, you could get 2 people at 2,000. Let me see some 1s here. Yes, exactly. That's all it is. If you can find 2 people like you that say, you know what, I want to make $1 million, and all I need to do is find 2 people at 2,000. How does that work out? Well, look at the diagram on the right side. 2 people that came in with 2,000. Now those 2 people found 2 people each. They found 2 people each. Now you have 8 people on each side. They found 2 people each, and everybody just found 2 people, everyone. 12 levels down is 930 like that, eh? You kind of separate it all in little pieces, and you come down to this common denominator where you say, wait a second here. You're telling me that all of us on this call were able to get 2 people each at 2,000? We could all make some insane money? The answer is yes. Now, is this a reality? Of course it's not. But you know what? It's as close to reality as you'll ever get. So how long can it take? Well, that depends. If everybody did it in a month, it would only take 12 months. Pretty fast, eh? But let's be realistic here. Let's just say that most people, they wait for their product. They like to try it for a month before they actually start sharing it. And that's okay. Many of us did that. Well, it would take, let's say, 2 months. Well, 2 months, 12 levels is 24 months. Take 2 years to make 935,000. My God, even if you had people that are scared of talking and they get all red when they look at people and they stay in the closet for 4 months, let's just say they all waited 5 months to get 2 people each. Well, 5 months times 12 is, I think it's 5 years. So 5 years to make 935,000 is still pretty good money, everyone. Eh? We're talking about a couple of $100,000 per year. So I wanted to show you this little action plan that is pretty lucrative. So, one thing's for sure, in the comp plan, even like if this would fill up to be perfect, it's pretty simple. If we break it down, you just found 2 people at 1,000. Your fast start was $300. Now remember the tier bonus, 1 on each side. It's $375, right? When it's 1,000 each. But when it's 2,000 each, you're actually making $375 times 2, because every time they balance on each side, you make double the amount. Okay, so $750 times 12 is $9,000. So the tier bonus is good, but look at where the money is, everyone. It's in the binary. It's all on everyone else. That's where the big money is in OlyLife. And the coaching bonus, when people are making money in their binary, well, the coaching bonus starts being very exciting.